Okay, so Bismillah. So we have done the exercise. Now lesson 2. Now, in lesson 2, we're gonna see another example, which we just did in the exercise, right? So look at this English sentence. The teachers help the students. Okay, here usually then you just did the exercise. The teachers are the Rafa because they are the doer. They helped. Okay, so they're and who did they help? They help the students. Okay, the word helped here is the fail. Simple. Everybody understand? No issue in that, right? And we are still doing English examples, right? The teachers are the doers here. What did they do? They helped. So that's the fail, main fail. Who did they help? The students. Okay, only one details. Okay, so one nasab here. So Rafa and nasab here. Okay, if there's another sentence, the students help the teachers. So I just turn the doers, okay, the other way. So this time the students are the doer because the students help the teachers, okay, and the teachers are the nasab. And again, still the same fail helped, okay. So these are the two English sentences. Now to write these two sentences in Arabic, we can write in different ways, okay. So for the first one, we can say al-mudarrisuna sa'ada, okay, at-tullaba. Okay, don't worry about what is Saad. Saada means to help. One of the meaning of Saad is to help. One of the Arabic word for help is Nasara. One of the word for Saada. There's other meanings too, Istiana and everything. Okay, so Saada is Mudarrisuna means teachers. Okay, Tullaba means students. Okay, Al Mudarrisuna Saada Tullaba. Teachers help the students. We can also say Saada al Mudarrisuna Tullaba. We can also say Tullaba Saada al Mudarrisuna. Okay, what we see from here that the words, three words, teachers, help, and students are moving around, but although they make the same kind of meaning. So here the Mudarrisuna was at the beginning. Okay, here is in the middle, here is in the end. Tullaba was end, then here it is the beginning. Saada is the middle, Saada is the beginning, Saada is the middle. But all three make the sentence. In English, we can't do this. We can't say students help teachers, students. We can't say that. Okay, if I move the students at the back, then whole meaning is changed. But in Arabic, even if you move the word orders, okay, initially it was at the beginning, the first position, it move it to the second position or third, it doesn't change the meaning. Okay, same on the other side. Here the Sa'ad al-Mudarrisuna at-Tullabu, okay, Sa'ad al-Tullabu al-Mudarrisina, okay, and Mudarrisina Sa'ad al-Tullabu. Here is the same thing. So even both of this sentence can be written in three ways. Now, if this is the case, then we have a problem. The problem is the word sequence does not matter. Okay, in English, we can easily pick the doers. We can easily see what is the details because we know English, isn't it? We know the teachers is doing the job, right? Help the students, okay? Every one of us understand that, okay? Because we know how to speak English. But what are you going to do with Arabic? Because we still don't have no vocabulary. Our brain is blank for the vocabulary. Okay, we just started learning Arabic in 2 weeks now, not even 2 weeks now, right? So how are you going to know? How are we going to know who is the doer? How we know the status? Who is the Rafa? Who is the Nasab? Okay. And obviously the fail is not going to talk about that. So fail, maybe forget about fail now, that I can tell this is the fail. But even if I tell you the fail, you can see there's a different way the Tullab, which is the students, and Mudarrisun, which is the teachers, they are coming before, after, beginning, and middle, right? How are you going to know that? Okay. So that's our lesson for today. Okay. So by looking at a word, when I say word, I'm talking about ism. Okay. Please don't confuse. Nothing about fail yet. Okay. So by looking at an ism, is there any way without even knowing the meaning? Okay, or even if you know the meaning, suppose I told you the meaning, Mudarrisuna means the teachers, Tullabu means the students. Even if you know the meaning, how you going to know who is the Rafa, who is the Nasab, or we'll talk about Jar also and how it is Jar look like. Okay, so to know this, we need to find the status Rafa Nasab Jar of an ism, and we need to memorize a chart, one chart with 4 of its version. One chart, but there are 4 versions of the chart. We're going to talk about 2 versions today, inshallah ta'ala, and then next week we're going to talk about 2 more versions of the same chart. Okay, so let's look at the chart. But before we go to the chart, we need 2 more basic information, okay, which we are kind of jumping the gun, but we need to know that to understand the chart. Okay, what are these 2 information? Number 1, every ism has 3 kind of status. We already know that. Doer, details, and after. We did it in lesson 1. Okay, the additional information that we need to know that every ism has 2 kinds of gender. Remember, we said every ism has 4 properties, right? Status, number, gender, and type. Okay, and we're going to talk about gender in a details in coming weeks, inshallah ta'ala, once we finish status, okay? But for the time being, you just know that in every word in Arabic must have a masculine or a feminine gender. In English, we have something called a neutral gender, okay? Like a pen or a computer or a keyboard or a mouse or a car doesn't have a gender in English, okay? We call them neutral, inanimate object, okay? Or neutral gender, we refer them as it, okay? So it is my pen, okay? This is beautiful, okay? So something like that, okay? But in Arabic, no. Everything that exists must have a gender, and it can be a masculine thing or it could be a feminine thing. A table, a chair, a cow, and a mosquito, whatever you talk about, a student, whatever, anything in Arabic words must have two kind of gender, like either of the two, either masculine or feminine. And just ahead, information, most of the things are masculine, okay? A bunch of things are feminine, okay? And we're going to talk about in details when the time comes about gender, okay? But for now, to understand the chart, because as I said, the same chart has 4 versions, okay? So one of the versions, the feminine version. So we need to know that, okay, there is a masculine version, there's a feminine version, okay? And we'll take some examples for that, okay? Another information that you need to know, unlike English, in English, we have singular and plural, okay? English singular and plural, okay? Let's say someone is asking, how do you know what is the gender of chair? Okay, yes, good question, brother Sarwar. We will know when the time comes, inshallah. Okay, when you talk about gender, you will know that if the chair is a masculine or a feminine, okay? If the chair has a big mustache and beard, then it's a masculine, okay? No, I'm just kidding, okay? Yeah, we'll know, inshallah. Don't worry, okay? But good question, okay? We'll know. So every ism has 2 kind of gender, masculine or feminine. Another additional information about number, in English, we have singular. Like if I have 1 car, then I have 1 car. If I have 2 cars, then I put an S, I say cars, okay? So more than 1 is plural in English, but in Arabic, we have singular, dual, and plural. So singular is singular, 1, okay? Allah is 1, right? Dual is a pair. So there is a special category in Arabic called dual, things that comes in pair, okay? Or we can say like 2 Muslims, okay? We can say 2 pens, and they have a different section for that, a different type for that. And if it is more than 2, then it's plural. Okay, so unlike English, it's not only 2, singular and plural, singular, dual, and plural. Okay, so these 2 additional information about gender and number you need to learn and memorize this chart that we are going to see today, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, masculine and feminine, singular, dual, and plural is our numbers. Okay, now we have 2 clues to find the status of an ism. We have 2 clues to find status of an ism. Okay, obviously the chart will help us. Okay, that's how we're going to learn the chart. Okay, but in the chart also you will see there are 2 clues. Okay, and these are the how we know. One of the clues is ending sound. So when you look at a word, as you know, the Arabic is a language of sound. Okay, and there are 3 sounds in Arabic in general. A, U, and E. Okay, you learn this when you learn Qaida Nuraniya, right? In Fatha, Kasra, or Dhamma, right? In subcontinent we say Jer, Jabar, Pesh. Okay, so we have the ending sound of a word. Okay, that will give us a clue. And also there's something called ending combination, the last 2 letters. Okay, it could be sometime 1 letter also. Okay, and we'll talk about that more. So ending sound and ending combination will give us the clue this word is what status in it. Is it the rafa or is it the nafsaf? Okay, and let's look at them, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so let's look at the Muslim chart. So why it's called Muslim chart? Because we took the word Muslim as an example to do this one. There could be any word, and inshallah we'll do a lot of exercise and you will see many words like this. But Muslim, we are all Muslim, alhamdulillah. So that's why we use the Muslim word and we'll do the chart. Okay, now here on the right hand side you can see this is the masculine chart, and here also it's called masculine. The title, Namaskar, you don't need to know about the title. Don't worry about the title, of these things, it's not important now. Okay, yes, in later on if you want to memorize the how masculine is called in Arabic, you can do that, but our main intention is to understand the concept. Okay, so masculine, and we know 3 status: rafa, nasab, and jar. We already know this, right? So now the first column is for singular. A singular Muslim, a Muslim, when it is sounds like this, Muslimun, then it is rafa. If it is sounds like Musliman, okay, and also look at here, there's an alif here after mim, right? This is for the writing rule, okay? So, it's nothing to do with the extra alif, but if it is then it is rafa. If it is an, it is nasab. If it's finished with an in, then it's jar. Very simple, isn't it? Very nice clue. Okay. If you see a word ending with un, like what is un and in called in Arabic? They are called tanween. I think you learned this when you learn Qaida Nuraniya. Okay. Double kasra, double fatha, double dhamma, right? So it's a double pesh, okay, double jabar and double jer, right? So when it is un sound, okay, and in ism is a un sound, then it is rafa, okay. And if it is an, it is nasab. If it is in, it's jar. Now, the very common question at this stage, I'm telling it from the experience, the people ask, okay, how do you know this is an ism, or is this a fail? Okay, as I said, for the time being, imagine the Quran is only full of ism. Okay, just imagine that. Don't worry about fail right now. We'll come to there when the time comes. Okay, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so anything you see it is rafa. Anything you see with an, it is nasab. Anything you see with in, it is jar. But this is for singular. So Muslimun here means one Muslim. If I say one Muslim is walking, okay, so he's doing the job. So in that English sentence I just told you, if you want to place the word a Muslim is walking, or a Muslim helped, or a Muslim ate breakfast, a Muslim prayed, okay, a Muslim. When you see a Muslim as a doer, the word that to be replaced is Muslimun, for example. Okay, think like this way. If I say I helped a Muslim, or if I say Abdullah gave $10 to a Muslim, in that sentence, Abdullah is the doer, okay, it's a name, right? And I gave something. Who did I give? I gave it to a Muslim. That's the detail. So that will be Musliman. If I say house of a Muslim, okay, house of a Muslim, so house of a Muslim, so it comes after the of, so that will be Muslimin. Okay, so Musliman, and all of this is singular Muslim, one Muslim. Okay, so Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. This is how you memorize the chart. So for Rafa is Muslimun, for Nasab is Musliman, for Jar is Muslimin. Now the second thing, and these are the ending sound, un, and in. See, un means rafa, an means nasab, in means jar. Okay, it's not always Muslim. It could be sodikun, sodekan, sodikin. Another word, right? You can be mursalun, mursalin, mursalin. Okay, like another word. Okay, it could be kitabun, kitaban, kitabin. Another word, right? So as long as you see un, that is rafa. If it is an, it's nasab. If it is in, then it's jar. Okay, everybody clear so far? Okay, and this is the masculine chart we are doing. So here the Muslim is a Muslim man. Okay, it cannot be a woman. Okay, because the masculine chart. Okay, we're going to talk about feminine in the next slide, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, for dual meaning when you talk about two Muslims, if I say two Muslims are praying in the masjid, so now two of them are doing the job, not one Muslim. In that case, the rafa is Muslimani. And look at this, Muslima, then there's alif and ni, Muslimani. If it is nasab, Muslimaini, ya and noon with a kasra, and then jar is also Muslimaini. Nasab and jar is both the same. And the common question at this stage, people ask, why? So if nasab is also Muslimaini, jar is also Muslimaini, how I'm going to know? Okay, you will know if you do this course, you will know very, very soon, inshallah. So at the moment, it is easy for you that, for dual, the rafa is Muslimani, which is the ani combination. And this is not the sound. Okay, this is not the sound. Okay, and I'm going to talk about more about this issue, because you see here, if you follow the rule that you did in the singular column, which is un, an, and in, your first word here, Muslimani, you will say, oh brother, you said just before that, in sound is like jar. So Muslimani, the last letter is a ni sound, so it sounds like a jar. No, you need to see the combination. So this is the combination part. Ani, alif and noon. Okay. Ya, ni, ya and noon. Okay. Ya and noon. So for the dual one, Muslimani is the rafa, meaning they are the doer. Muslimaini is nasab, and Muslimaini is also jar. Okay. How are you going to know nasab and jar? When the time comes, you will know, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So ani is rafa, aini is nasab, aini is jar. Okay. For plural, and this is for two Muslim, masculine two Muslim. Okay, masculine two Muslim. Okay, for plural is the rafa version is Muslimuna. See, there's a long mad here. Wa is the mad, single mad, right? So this extend the sound, right? Muslimuna is rafa when it's more than two Muslims, right? Muslimina is actually the nasab, and Muslimina is also jar. So this is the una, ina, and ina. So meaning, if you see a word in the Quran, for example, munafiquna, the hypocrites, munafiquna, and if I ask you, brother, by looking at the word, what is the status, you can guess. Munafiquna, and you see, oh, the wa and noon is at the end. Munafiquna, okay? So that is the rafa. If you see a word mursalina, mursalina, in at the end, then if I ask you, is it nasab or jar? You should answer, it could be nasab or jar, because you don't know the difference yet. Okay, at this lesson 2, you don't know. The only thing you know that ina means nasab or jar. Okay, and una means the rafa. Okay, now two things in dual cases, in dual and plural. Okay, if there's one feminine and one masculine, so think like this way, a brother and a sister, their husband and wife, they went to masjid and they're praying, and I'm saying two Muslims are praying in the masjid right now. Okay, so now one of them is masculine, one is feminine. In that kind of case, in Arabic language, the masculine is used. So two Muslims could be two men, or could be one man and one feminine. If only two sisters are there, then we have to use something else that is coming up in the next slide. Okay, so if it is one man and one woman, okay, then two people, but it's still Muslimani is used. Same with the plural. The plural masculine, includes men and women or only men. So if I have 5 Muslim brothers, okay, they are Muslimuna. Okay, if I have 3 Muslim brothers and 2 Muslim sisters, the 5 of them together is also Muslimuna. But if I have in my class only 3 Muslim sisters, then there's something different, which you're gonna look at in the next slide. Everybody understand? Masculine chart includes feminine. Okay, and that's why in the Quran, when you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, okay, this type of instruction, command, prohibition, Allah mostly use the masculine part, because that includes the feminine. Okay, but there are some ayah, where Allah specifically talked about the feminine part. Okay, so the feminine, Muslimat. Okay, so at that time Allah mentioned those ones. Okay, so what we learned so far, we learned a chart. This chart is crucial, very, very, very critical. Okay, and believe me not, this will remain necessary for you to remember till the end of the course. Even if you're going to learn, after 40 weeks, inshallah ta'ala, if Allah takes us there, you will need this to remember, because this Rafana Sabanjar is important to know and understand. Okay, so again, for singular is Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Rafana Sabanjar. For dual is Muslimani, and a lot of people, meaning like a lot of parties, brothers and sisters like you who did the course with me before, they always make mistakes in the dual. Okay, why, I don't know, but for some reason it gets confused with ani and aini. Okay, so remember, Muslimani, ma means long ma, there's alif, maini and maini. Okay, here Muslimuna and Muslimina and Muslimina. Okay, so Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Okay, so here the ending sound, remember we said we had 2 clue. This is the ending sound clue. The singular is always give us the ending sound clue, un, an, and a. For the dual and plural, we need to do the combination. Okay, like ani, aini, aini, una, ina, ina. Okay, the last two letters. Okay, so this is our masculine chart, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, let's look at our feminine chart. Okay, for feminine chart, again, feminine chart, rafa, nasab, and jar. For singular, muslimatun. For feminine, nasab, muslimatan and muslimatin. So it was muslimun, musliman, muslimin. It was muslimatun, muslimatan, and this ta is called ta marbuta. Okay, and any word that has ta marbuta is a feminine word. Okay, there are some exceptions. Okay, but the exception does not exist in the Quran. For example, in the previous classical Arab time, when the time of Rasulullah, there were some names, the names of people, they are masculine people. I mean, they're men, but their men name end with ta marbuta. Okay, there were some of the exception. Okay, it's okay. Like for example, the great Sahaba Talha. Okay, Talha, actually, if you know the whole name is Talhatun. Okay, so there's a ta marbuta there. Okay, but it is not in the Quran. So anything that ends with the ta marbuta, okay, not the normal ta, not alif bata, that's a different ta. This is ta marbuta, right? So if you see that one, and then that is a feminine word, and if it is a tun sound, that means it's rafa. It's a tan means nasab, and it is tin is jar. Okay, and we took the Muslim word again. It could be any other word. It could be nasihatun. Nasihin means advisor. Okay, and again, don't ask, brother, how I'm going to know the meaning. You will know the meaning soon, inshallah. Vocabulary is not our problem. Our challenge is to learn the concept. Vocabulary, as we go through, we'll learn. Okay, and I'll indicate you to learn the vocabularies. Okay, and I will give you a set of vocabularies, inshallah ta'ala, when the time comes, and you will learn those. Okay, for the timing. So if I give you a word, for example, I just made up one word. Okay, and that's ending with the tun sound. Maybe I say no, konita tun. Okay, so tun means, okay, you say, oh, this is a feminine word and it is tamar buddha un sound, then it is singular and rafa. Singular and rafa. If I say something like, sodekatan, okay, so you say, okay, sodekatan is a tamar buddha, so then I have to think about the feminine chart. And what is the ending sound? Tan. So it is nasab. Okay, and it is singular. Okay, so you have to remember the whole chart. Okay, is it in the singular column? Is it in the rafa column, in a row? Which column? Okay, this is how you remember. Muslimatun, muslimatan, and muslimatin. For the dual, so these are the sounds. So un and in, again the, okay. You can say it's tun tan tin, but we don't say that because the sound is actually un and still in, because it could be different sometime. Okay, and it will come later. But you say the un sound just like the before. Okay, un sound is rafa, and an is nasab, and in is jar. But any word with a ta marbuta, as you know, is a ta marbuta, it is, as I said, there are about 99.99% time it is a feminine word. Okay, for dual is muslimatani, like it was muslimani, is muslimatani. So the ta and alif and nun. Okay, and tiny, tiny. Okay, muslimatani, muslimataini, muslimataini. So here, ani, aini, aini, just like that. But we can say that tani is rafa, tiny is nasab, and tiny is jar. So again, nasab and jar is thing. Okay, so in the next exercise, in the next class, if I ask you that, there is a word called solehataini. Okay, solehataini. Then I ask you, tell me the status, number, and gender of this word. So whenever you say tiny at the end, you say, oh, this is feminine. So gender is feminine. Okay. And where did I learn about tiny combination? It's in the dual column. So it is then the dual. Number is dual. And is it Rafa, Nasab, or Jar? Or Rafa is tiny. Okay, so Nasab is tiny and Jar is tiny. So it could be Nasab or Jar. So your answer should be Nasab or Jar. Okay, Nasab or Jar. Okay. And eventually, as I said, you will know that this is Nasab for this reason. And obviously the both cannot be same at the same time. Okay, but for the time being, if it is tiny, it could be Nasab or Jar. Okay. For the plural, plural is a bit confusing here. Why? Look at this. It's muslimatun. Okay. So this is also muslimatun. This is also muslimatun, but there's a difference. This is ta marbuta in the singular column. Here it is a normal ta, alif ba ta, that ta with the two dot, okay? And there's a alif before that. So muslimatun, and then muslimatin, and muslimatin. So the combinations are atun, atin, atin. Okay, don't confuse with this one, because this is a different ta marbuta. There's no alif before that. Here there's a alif before that. So atin is nasab or jar, atun is rafa. Okay, so these are the two versions of our chart, masculine and feminine. Okay, of the Muslim chart. Okay, and as I said, and I'm emphasizing again, this is very important to understand the chart and also remember. So if I give you a word, there are 9 rooms here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. Okay, it could be either singular rafa, it could be singular nasab, it could be singular jar, it could be dual rafa, it could be dual nasab, it could be dual jar, it could be plural rafa, plural nasab, plural jar. So 9 things. So if I give you a word, your head should think about the chart. First of all, you should find out, is it a feminine chart or a masculine chart? That will give you the gender. So you know which chart I have to think about now. Okay, so I learned about 2 charts. Okay, should I think about the feminine? Oh, because I have ta marbuta, then I have to think about the feminine chart. And then you think that, is it combination or is it ending sound? Okay, I think someone asking a question. Should all the feminine word have the ta marbuta? No, not all the feminine is ta marbuta. Word with ta marbuta is always feminine, but doesn't mean all the words, all the feminine word has ta marbuta. There are other feminine words, and as I said, we'll have a separate lesson about gender. At that time, we'll learn. But for this chart, we take it with an example with the ta marbuta. Okay, and when it is not with the ta marbuta, we'll see what happens next at that time. Okay, so the question that brother asked, just to clarify, he's asking, is all the words, feminine words, has ta marbuta? No, not all the words feminine words has ta marbuta, but all the word that has ta marbuta in the Quran is feminine word. Okay, it's the other way around. Okay, there are some words which are feminine, which are feminine, right? But they are not ending with ta marbuta. They're not, and we'll talk about that when we talk about gender. Okay, we have a separate lesson for gender coming up. Okay, so for the time being, our main target, if I give you an example of a word, you think of the word. If you see ta marbuta or tani or tiny, tun or tin or tin, that's feminine, and then you need to think what is the status and number. Is it in the which column it is in? Is it in the plural column? Is it singular column, dual column? Or this is our main target, and we're going to talk about a bit more today also about this, and also inshallah ta'ala in next week we'll do exercises also on this one. Okay, and then we have two more versions of the same chart. We saw 4 versions. Okay, we see 2 versions today, masculine and feminine. There's 2 more versions coming, easy ones, inshallah, and we'll do it next week. Okay, so for today, we saw the masculine chart and the feminine chart and the sound and the combination. Okay, and this is one page. We have this together. So in the English also, I put it here. Muslimatun, Muslimatani, Muslimatun, all these things in English and in one page. So if you print it out or, you keep it in your pad or your PDF, okay, so you can see it from this way. Okay, now let's do a few examples. Okay, and you can unmute yourself, and anyone, brothers and sisters, even if you answer wrong, it does not matter. We are all learning. Nobody's going to laugh at you, say, oh, how come you make these mistakes? Don't worry doing that, okay? You're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay? Many of you probably don't know even each other. If I have so many brothers and sisters, I don't even know their face, they are just in the Zoom, I never saw them, okay? But, so don't worry. So I'm going to ask the question, unmute yourself and answer, okay? A Muslim woman travel. Okay, so a Muslim woman, this word a Muslim woman, okay, the Arabic for is, something Muslimatun the tamarbuta. But my question is this word in English, it is Rafa Nasab Jar?
Rafa.
Rafa. And which word should I use? From which chart? From here or from this? Okay, anyone else answer that, please? So we have some words.
Muslimun. Muslimun.
No, Muslimun is a man.
Oh.
So you have a Muslim
Muslimun.
woman.
Muslimatun.
Muslimun.
Yeah.
No, Muslimun is a man.
Muslimatun.
Muslimatun, yes. Because why Muslimun?
Sorry, it's
is not,
feminine.
yes,
Yeah.
feminine. So this is masculine chat, this is feminine chat. Okay, good that you made that mistake, brother. That will help other people, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so, and we both, we all agreed that this is the Muslim woman is doing the job. She travel, so it will be the Rafa version. It's not going to be Muslimatan or Muslimatin. Why? Because they are not Rafa and Nasab. The status of this Muslim, or she is the doer of that sentence, right? That is the concept. She is the doer. She did the traveling. So that's why it's Muslimatun. Okay. How about this one? A religion of a Muslim, and when I say a Muslim, think of as a man. Okay, unless the feminine is mentioned, you always think of a man, right? So a religion of a Muslim is Islam. So which Muslim word should I use from the top that we have?
Muslimun.
Muslimin.
Yes, Muslimin.
Muslimin.
Not Muslimun. Why Muslimin?
Because plural.
No.
Muslimun.
It's a jar.
It's the jar, yes. So this is because it's come after the
Doesn't have.
of. Okay, so the religion of a Muslim is Islam, because the word Muslim comes after the of, and we just learned last week that anything that comes out has to be jar, and it is one Muslim. So then you have to think, okay, so one Muslim, so it will be singular column, and it is after of, so jar. So what is the jar of the singular, which is this one, Muslimin? Okay, so we are just reverse engineering. So we are going from English to Arabic to replace the word, right? I met a Muslim. I met a Muslim again. So what will be the word for this one? Is it going to be Muslimun, Muslimuna, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Musliman? Which one?
Muslimun.
One brother say Muslimun. Sisters, any sisters want to answer?
Muslimun.
Musliman.
Musliman, yes. Muslimat, Muslimun, because Muslimun is not, who met? I met. I met, who did I meet? A Muslim. So the word Muslim is here is nasab. It's the details. If I ask the met, the action is met. Okay, so met means I had a meeting with someone, right? So, who did I meet? A Muslim. So that's the details. So that is the nasab. So, okay. So the first one was the Rafa, Muslimatun. Second one was the jar, because it's after of, and here is the details. So that's the nasab. So now you understand how we're going to go. But this is, as I said, we are going from English to Arabic to give you the understanding, to pick the word, okay? Our goal is to listen to the Quran and understand that. But this is going to help us, okay? Because so that we understand in which sentence what is the word doing. Is it the jar status? Is it the nasab status? Okay, and this chart will help us. Okay, so please do memorize the chart with understanding like this. So if I say, okay, pick me the which word will be the dual but nasab. So you should say muslimaini. Which word should be the feminine and plural and jar? You should say muslimatin, this one. Okay, so there's 9 words. It's like a checkboard. You need to know what is what. Okay, so rafa, nasab, and jar, and singular, dual, and plural. Okay, the house of a Muslim woman is clean. The house of a Muslim woman is clean. A Muslim woman. Okay, so which word should I use from the feminine chart?
Muslimatun.
No.
Oh, sorry, Muslimatin.
Muslimatin.
Muslimatin,
Jar.
because it's jar. Very good.
Yeah.
Muslimatin is jar. Okay. Same. 2 Muslims travel. 2 Muslim travel. Which word should I use?
Rafa.
Rafa is good, yeah, but which word is for the Rafa? 2 Muslim. What is the word?
Musliman. Yeah, Muslimaini.
Muslimani. Muslimani, because as I said, Muslimani is the Rafa, not Maini, not the Ya one. This one. Dual,
Ani.
the first Rafa. Muslimani, Ani. Okay, the Ani combination. Okay, so that's how we did few examples. Okay, let's look at one more thing. It is important to note that when determining status, you should always look for ending combination before look for ending sound. What does it mean? Okay, I'll give an example and you'll understand. Okay, so what is trying to say here, when you giving you now that we took an example for Muslim and we have all the exercise we did with a Muslim just now, right? But that could be different words, right? So what should you look for first? Should you look for the ending sound, un, an, in, or should you look for the ani, tani, tiny, all this combination? So what we need to know, we need to see the combination first. Don't jump into the ending sound first, okay? You look for the first check. Is there any ani or aini, una or ina, tani or tiny? Is there atun or atin, anything there? If it's not there, then okay, so this is not my plural or dual. I need to think about the singular. Then it's the haraka thing. Okay, for example, this is a word, jibali. Okay, jibali. Okay, so tell me what will be the status of this word? Anyone? What is there any una, ina here in this word?
No.
So we need to think about the ending sound, which is e sound, or in, it could be jibalin. Okay, so I put only one kasra. Okay, so it is jar because it is jibali. Okay, but if I say muslimani, you can say, brother, this is also jar, e sound. This is also e sound. No, this is not. This is our ani combination. So if a word is given, you first look, is any of my combination there? If it is there, then think of the combination. If it is not there, then you go for the ending sound, not the combination. Everybody clear? So this is jar because of haraka, because the ending sound e, jibali. Okay. By the way, jibal means mountain. Okay. Okay. So that's another vocabulary for you. And I always tell, especially my last year brothers and sisters who did with me, to keep notes. Okay. So keep a pen and paper beside you. If you have a word like this, write in English also. Jibali, J-I-B-L. Jibal means mountain. This is how you increase vocabulary. Okay. And anyway, I'll provide vocabulary when time comes. Okay. Muslimani, you already. So Muslimani is rafa. So this is jar because of haraka. This is not jar, although it says the e sounded then, because I have to look at the combination. I have found a combination here, ani. So this is rafa with ending combination. As I said, a lot of brothers and sisters make mistakes in the dual section. Okay, especially ani and aini. Okay, how about this one? Qur'ani.
Ending sound.
Why not combination? Because it also has an alif. Yes, you're right, brother. It is actually jar, Qur'ani. It is not combination. Why? Because this noon, see, this noon and alif is the part of the spelling. Okay, like when you spell Muslim, this is an important point to understand. When you spell Muslim, there are 4 letters in Muslim in Arabic: mim, sin, lam, and mim. This ani part added with that one to make it a dual. Okay, the real word, the original word was Muslim. Okay, 4-letter word. Mim, Sin, Lam, and Mim. Okay, it comes from 3-letter root, but that's a different thing. But as you can see in the screen, is 4 letters and added a part ani, and that the last part keeps changing. If it is rafa, there's ani. If it is plural, then it's going to be una. There's wa will come. If it is jar, it's going to be aini. Okay, so the last part keeps changing. But in the word for Quran, this noon is part of the spelling. It is not a added part. If I take the noon and alif out, is qur. Qur doesn't have a meaning. Quran is a name. Okay, this is a name. It's an ism. Okay, it's the name of the book. Okay, so Quran here, the word noon here actually is just like jibal. Okay, so the noon is no ending combination. It is the haraka Qurani. Okay, it could be Qurani or Qurana or Quranun, Quranan, Quranin. Okay, like this. Okay, so sometimes the noon is the part of the spelling. Now the question is, how are you going to know? You will know with experience and more reading. Okay, there's no rule for everything. Just like in English, a lot of things we know as we go through and learn. Okay, so you'll know the spelling. These are the words that has this one. For example, Sulaiman, his name, his prophet name, you know Sulaiman, right? So he's got a noon at the end. His word, his name has Sulaiman. Okay, so but that noon is not our combination noon, ani, una, ina, not like this. Sulaiman is one person, Sulaiman. We can't have like two Sulaimani. Okay, no, that's a different thing. It's a name. Okay, it's a person's name. So that noon is a part of the word. Like we said like last class that we are following the basic curriculum from Numan Ali, right? Numan. Okay, and there was a Sahaba also named Numan, right? Numan. Okay, so that noon is also a part of the spelling, not the combination. Okay, so this is to show the difference. Okay, I think we're almost past our time. Okay, now we're going to do some exercises. Okay, and then inshallah we'll finish for today. Let's see. So this is qatala rajulun tayran. Okay, so here qatala means to kill. This is a fail. Okay, qatala is a fail. It means to kill. Okay, or to something to take the life of a fight. Okay, so this is past tense. Qatala. Rajul means a man. Rajul means a man. Okay, and tayr means bird. Okay, tayran ababil, right? The surafil. So who killed what? How do you know? So who is the rafa here? Is the rajul? So katala is not our constant because it's our fail. So we have rajulun and tayran. So by looking at the word, you need to tell me what is the rafa and what is the nasab, or what is the jar here. Anyone?
Rajulan is the rafa.
Not rajulan. You said
Rajulun.
Rajulun. Why you said because un sound, right?
Sound,
you
yes.
just done Muslimun. So rajulun is the same sound, right? Un sound. So, and tayran is nasab or jar?
It's nasab.
Nasab. Why? The unsound,
Unsound.
right? So the meaning is that a man killed birds. Okay, a man killed birds. Okay, so but if I say the same thing, let's look at another example that will be easy. Nasara means to helped. Helped in the past tense. Nasara Muhammadun Salihan. So Muhammad is the name. Okay, my name is Muhammad. Your name is Muhammad. So Muhammad is a name. Saleh is also a name. So who helped who here? What will be the English translation for this?
So Muhammad helped Salihan.
Yeah, Saleh. Muhammad helps Saleh. Yeah, okay.
Saleh.
Because why? So we know Muhammadun is the Rafa status. Okay, un sound. Okay, Salihan is the Nasab status. So that's the details. So Muhammad help Saleh. Okay, but the same sentence, if I write like this, Nasara Muhammadan Salihun, then this time Saleh helped Muhammad. Why? Because Muhammadan is the Nasab status. Okay, and this is the un status. Salihun is the un status. Okay, so a man killed birds. Okay, Muhammad helped Saleh. Saleh helped Muhammad. Okay, so now you understand that when I give you a word, like if I give this word rajulun, you probably don't know what is the meaning of rajulun. You probably don't know the meaning of toiran. Doesn't matter. But I don't want the meaning. I want the status. Okay, so in the next example, like in the next exercise next week, inshallah ta'ala, if I give you a word toiran and I ask you, give me. Now you have to tell me that, what is the status? Is it rafa, nasab, or jar? By looking at the sound. And there's no ani, una here. Okay, so we'll do some exercise with ani, una also, because there's nothing there. So no combination. So we follow the singular column chart, singular column. Okay, so un and in, that's what we follow now. Okay, because why? Because we don't see any ani and una. We don't see any una or ina or tani or tiny or atun or atin. There's no combination here. When there's no combination, you go for the sound. You go for the sound. Okay. Let's look at some example from the Quran. So there's some part of the ayah. Wailul kulli humazatin lumazatin. Okay, so just don't worry about the other parts, okay, because you don't know all the meanings and everything. I just want the yellow parts. You tell me the status of these words.
Jar.
Both of them is jar?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Very good.
feminine
Yes.
jar.
Yes, very good. Jar is also right because I asked status, but the brother gave answer with the feminine jar. Why did you say feminine, brother? How do you know?
Because of the tamarbuta.
Very good, because of the tamar. So humazatin and lumazatin, both are jar. Okay, why they are jar, we don't know that, and I didn't ask that now. Okay, that's coming later, inshallah. But they are jar, and they are both feminine. Humazatin and lumazatin is both jar and feminine, and they are singular also. Singular here, because why? If it were plural, if I want to say plural, it will be humazatin and normal ta. Remember the chart? I know you just saw the chart today. So, inshallah, next week, you're going to go through the chart and memorize the chart. So it will be more thing, but it is singular because you can see there's no atin or atun. Okay. So there's no alif and the normal ta. Okay. So it's feminine. We know that. It's jar. We know that. Also, we know the number is singular. Okay. So that's one of the example. Let's look at this one. Innaha alayhim mu'sadatun. Mu'sadatun. Anyone?
So feminine, rafa, singular.
Very good. Feminine, rafa, singular. Okay, just like lumazatun. So because feminine, because of the ta marbuta. Tun is sound is the tun because okay, so that's it is our rafa, and obviously it is singular. The brother said because there's no tun. Okay, it's not plural, it's not dual. Okay, it's not tani or tiny or atun or atin. So it's very clear there. Okay, let's look at this one. Inna ilaykum mursaluna. Quick, brothers, anyone?
So this one is masculine, plural, and rafa.
Very good, because it's una. Yeah, it's a masculine, like muslimuna, mursaluna. Okay, so we can clearly see the una sound at the end, wa and noon. Okay, so una, right? And it is plural because una is our plural. Okay, so that is the reason you need to know. Okay, as soon as you see the word in the combination, okay, because obviously I know a lot of you are probably thinking still because you just saw the chart. I didn't give you time to memorize the chart. So inshallah, next week when you're gonna do exercise, we'll have this, and enjoy. You should answer and you should get all the full marks in the quiz, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. Wal-adiyati dabhan. Wa-adiyati dabhan.
Nasab.
Yeah, nasab. Simple is nasab. And what is the number and gender? Is it a feminine word?
No, it's masculine.
Masculine word. So is it singular? Singular. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Hudal lil muttaqina. Muttaqina. I want to know the yellow part is muttaqina.
Masculine nasab or jar.
Very good. Masculine nasab or jar, muttaqina, because the ina sound. Okay, muttaqina is the ina sound. So it's like muslimina. Look at the last two letters, ina. And we don't just say singular because this is no, not like that, because you need to find combination first. So when you look at the word, is there a combination? Yes, one of the combination matches ina. So this is muttaqina. So this is could be nasab or jar. Okay, I think with this we finish our lesson today, inshallah ta'ala. Again, any questions? Okay, if you don't have any question, you can just leave. I'll close the recording now, inshallah.